unless he's on holidays from now on. They haven't. They just put them when they want. Are you starting with this or are you starting with anything? Yeah, well, it's half time. They'll probably just about it, Glenelg. Glenelg. That's where they've gone today. Yeah. Well, that's right. And the Case's communications probably wouldn't be working. Because they've got to get off-air picture back and otherwise I can't see the score inserts. ISO feed off of every camera. No, oh yeah, that. Use it for reports and stuff like that. They're pretty good. They're in a good fit with it. They just pass it. TV on in the room, didn't you? Oh, that's what it says. That's right there. You have the TV on you up here. Big on the belly. Well, that's right. Hey. 10. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yes. They've still got the AFL and the Olympics. No, Denver. No. Oh, Cardiff. They're going overhead. They're going overhead as well here. They said if they can do it, we can do it. Yep. It's good for one, it's good for the other. Yeah. Yeah, but anything else they put in this year. Yeah. Australia was flexible. Might not have a job after yesterday's announcement. You get jealous. Oh, well, you're not coming to me, are you? Leave it like that.
Anyone was emphatic in being demanding to be picked in the best players today.
Exactly right. Okay, well, that's how we saw.
Just before you go, you've been pretty soft on the Crows. Another shocking performance.
Well, what do you want me to say, Gary?
I want you to say that. That's what your people home want you to say.
It was a very disappointing performance.
Well, the people at home can work it out for themselves.
They better ring you next week, you two. You need to be pulled into gear.
Okay, well, just repeating the final score here. Carlton 19-17, 131. Thank you, Gary. Adelaide 9-10 to 64. We certainly hope you've enjoyed our call of the big game today from Optus Oval on behalf of Billy Hodges, our stats man. Thank you, Billy. Gary Window, Graham Studley's calls. KG saying, hope you've enjoyed our coverage as we take you around the grounds, firstly to Footy Park.
Thanks, KG, and have a good trip home. But it's here at Central District 7-6, Glenelg 2-4, and we've just had 30 seconds of the third quarter. Central District doing it well. They lead by 32 points. Let's go back to Craig Don't at Noarlunga.
5 minutes into the final quarter, and the Eagles lead by 24 points. South Adelaide making something of a charge here, but gee, they're a long way back. Eagles 9-13-67 to South 6-7-43. Prospect Oval, Dennis Brown.
5 minutes final term. The Roosters have edged out to a 30-point lead here, 10-3-63. The Double Blues are 5-3-33.
And final OVL scores. Hawthorn 11-8-74 beat Geelong 10-12-72. Sydney 14-12-96 beats St Kilda 11-13-79. Still no final score from the North Melbourne Collingwood game, but Collingwood got up by about 10 goals, and Sydney is now on top of the AFL ladder.
Hi, Chris Dittmar here. You know, it doesn't matter what sport you play, one thing's certain, injuries happen. That's why it pays to head down to your nearest national pharmacy for a sports first aid kit. The kits come in 3 sizes: premium, the coach's kit and the personal sports aid kit. All kits contain 4 different brochures, including asthma in sport. What's more, the products included are recommended by Sports Medicine SA, and if you need advice, there are national pharmacy staff who've been trained to sports trainers standard. Be prepared with a sports first aid kit from any national pharmacy's branch.
It's been described as brilliant, astounding, uncanny, the best. It's the Big O Show, and it's coming to the Arkema Hotel this Tuesday night. The Big O Show puts together over 2 hours of the best in lighting, special effects, and the amazing Roy Orbison sound-alike Rick Diamond and the Wild Hearts. You'll be amazed at Rick's renditions of the Big O's classic hits. Don't miss the Big O Show at the Arkema Hotel this Tuesday night. To book, call the Arkema on 338 1100.
Hear that? That's the sound of business profits disappearing into monthly mobile phone accounts. And that's something the guys at Adtel never want you to hear. At Adtel, from as little as $10 a month, they can tailor a package to suit you and your business. That's right, from as little as $10 a month. Talk to Adtel today about putting the plug on profits. And while you're at it, talk about trading up to the advantages of today's digital network. Adtel, your #1 Telstra mobile net dealer. Phone 231 7788 or call into 201 Curry Street in the city.
Tonight's your night for entertainment on 7. Beginning at 6:30, there's highlights of the big clash between St Kilda and Sydney at Waverley. At 7:30, see Bad Boy Falcon riding high with the quarterfinal of Gladiators. Then at 8:30, for the first time on television, I'm Going Home. Featuring the voices of Sally Field and Michael J. Fox, comes the heartwarming tale of a dog's journey home. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. 7 special Saturday night family movie. Something for everyone, tonight on 7.
Welcome to 5AA's Footy of 96, proudly presented by Adelaide's Channel 7, because nobody knows sport like 7. Nobody.
And welcome here to Football Park 2. We've just started the 3rd term. Central District, the league leader, playing Glenelg. And really, that's the way the scoreboard tells us too. It's 7-6 to 2-4, a margin of 32 points, the same margin at half-time. Joining me this afternoon is Jumbo Prince Rick Davies. But Rick, really it has been pretty well Central District from go to woe.
Yes, well, thank you very much, David. A beautiful day down here at Football Park. The crowd is poor. There's only about a couple of thousand down here. But Central District's rebounded in that first quarter, kicking 6-4 to Glenelg 1 point, leading by 39 points. And things haven't improved for the Bays in this quarter.
No, they haven't. Disappointing day 2 for the Crows. We'll talk about the Andrew Jarman.
Well, what actually are you saying? You haven't actually said anything.
I'll say something at
Unbelievable.
time.
How anyone can spend a day talking allegations and fiction is beyond me.
Oh, well, it's good radio anyhow. It's Glenelg now. They storm out of defence up towards the centre. It's kicked forward by Simon Hill. Up towards centre-half forward. So Glenelg going to attack for one of the rare occasions. West gives it out. Out towards Kretschmer. The ball's at grandstand side centre wing. Glenelg kicking towards the golf course end. There's a kick from Kretschmer under pressure. It wasn't good. And goes out of bounds right half forward flank for the Tigers.
Good work by young Sally Sawell there. He's performed pretty well. Goal kickers quickly. James Wine with 3. Big Mark Conway up forward with 2. And the singles to Jared Cotton, David Flood. And for Glenelg, just quickly, Mark Soderstrom and Mark Tylor, each with 1.
Central 7-6, Glenelg 2-4. The Tigers have it just outside their 50. Hallahan tried to get it out. The Central District Pro Central's crowd wanted holding the ball, and there'll be a ball up once again, right half forward flank for the Tigers.
Yeah, well, Stevie Wright will be very, very happy with the Bulldogs today. They've been aggressive at the football, and Glenelg just haven't been able to get back into the game. As McCulley, he pushes the ball down, but Cook, he's magnificent onto his left foot, goes right in front of the 5AA commentary, and the ball just gently goes out of play. Bows played pretty well. The Central District's Wilds have been pretty good. They've been pretty aggressive at the football. I think they shell-shocked the Bays in that first quarter.
Well, I think the first 2 or 3 minutes they kicked 3 quick goals, Rick, and from then on they've just been able to hold Swain, do it pretty well. McCulley down to McDermott now. He has been good. He's had many possessions. That one wasn't his best one. He found his immediate opponent in McGowan. Slips it to Schaefer. Free kick's got to go back to McGowan. He's the leading possession getter in the league, so he's had plenty of the football. Goes out wide to the far side. Lee made ground, but coming through Visca, the Crow squad member from 55, kicks up towards West. Also Tyler, and that was the best bit of play I think we've seen today, Rick. Tyler on a long lead has taken the mark 35 out from goal.
Well, you certainly just called it exactly right then, Wilds, because beautiful work by Visca, who hasn't done a lot today, but he just, that was the worst bit of play McGowan's done, because he just pushed it out right in the middle to Scotty Lee as Tyler comes in. He's about 35 metres out, right in front, a little bit of an angle, comes in. He's only kicked the one goal. He puts it up in the air. There is a bit of a breeze blowing down towards that lake end, and I think Jimmy West has flown over the top. He hasn't done a lot today, Wilds, and he's taken a mark right by the left-hand goalpost, as I think the umpire's going to bring it back to Jimmy West, and he's going to have to kick the banana ball, Wilds, to have any chance.
Yeah, mark number 4 there to West, and you, well, called there, Rick. He's tucked away left full forward pocket.
And he's taken 82 marks for the year, Wilds.
Oh, kick short, shocking. The second attempt, third attempt, Scott Lee holds it up, will be paid the mark, and Scott Lee, who's played very well once again.
Well, what a shocking bit of play, Wilds. That was absolutely atrocious bit of play, because he was 2 metres out from goal. He had to have a shot, passed it off, and it's come unstuck.
Lee out towards Cook, who had one arm held on that occasion. Rubinick for the Tigers, chips in short to Simon. Simon, 60 out, takes the mark. Now, the Bays are looking better. In fact, Centrals have been on 7 goals for quite a while. Kicking with the breeze, Simons gives off the handball. Back towards Rubinick. He's 50 out. The kick to Tyler was a shocker. Put the full forward under all sorts of pressure. Coming through was Hicks. Looked for a teammate in Lee, and it goes out of bounds. Let's quickly go down to Noongar, where Craig Dont's waiting.
Eagles 9-15-69 to South 6-7-43.
Back here at Central 7-6 to 2-4. Very small crowd, as you'd expect, with the Crows playing there at the Optus Oval. Kick forward by Chig Whitten. Up towards Tyler, couldn't take it. The ball now, an opportunity for Visca. Showed good strength. Was he caught holding the ball? Tyler goes to ground. They've got a chance here, the Tigers. They swoop in after the football. Hallahan's there. So too say well for Centrals. And there'll be a ball up 15 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Yes, well, the Tigers are coming back a little bit in this third quarter. Of course, 6-4 in that first quarter, 7-8 Centrals. As you mentioned, Wilds, it's 7 minutes into this third quarter. And, well, the Bulldogs haven't moved off that 7 as the umpire's about to put the ball down about 15 metres out from the Glenelg goal. A little bit of a question mark there.
Blood raw,
I think he's going to, yes, up go the hands. And, of course, it's that Swert, I think, is just coming off with a bit of an injury. And you've got the glasses, Wilds. What's the problem? Where is he bleeding from?
Yeah, Stephen Swert's just got looks like a blood nose from here, Rick.
Well, quickly, we should rip out to the Prospect Oval. And, DB, how's the score out there?
Yeah, North Adelaide kicked away here, Jumbo. 12-4, 76-year-old side have fallen in the hole again, 5-3-33.
Yeah, North Adelaide, after a tardy start, looking the goods there against Sturt. In fact, Sturt did that a lot this year.
Fair dinkum. They get out to it. They compete well.
Well, they led early by a couple of goals.
But, yeah, what's the good of leading early? It's a little bit like the Crows. They went out all aggressive and in that first quarter, but then they fall into weak as water, don't they, really?
Earlier results today, Carlton 67-point winners over Adelaide. Hawthorn got up to beat Geelong at Cardinia Park by 2 points. The second time in a row they've beaten their home ground. Sydney Swans once again going well. They won by 17 points over St Kilda, and Collingwood won by plenty at the MCG over North Melbourne.
What a turnaround that was, Wilds, as the umpire puts it down, Swerts off, getting his nose pampered, comes there right into there. Sally Saywall, young Sally's got hold of number 17 down there, which is Kretschmer, and it goes over the line. Pretty good performance here by Central Districts, but as you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Wilds, they haven't got off that 7 goals. They've been on 7 goals for quite some time. Right in the right-hand pocket for Glenelg. In comes the ball. Schaefer over the top. McCulley, he gets hold of the ball. Down to Sally Saywell. He gets over the top. And I think the ball, Chid Whitten push it out over the top to Wakeland. Wakeland looks over the top and just pushes the ball out. Comes out to Potter. And the boundary umpire there, streaming around the outer side, says, I'll have it. And out of bounds there, right on the right forward pocket for the Bays.
Been an amazing game. 2 Centrals come out of the blocks very quickly with the aid of a breeze. They got away to a flying start, kicked 3 or 4 quick goals, but since then goals have really been at a premium here at Footy Park. There's the boundary thrown, right half forward flank for the Tigers. Chig Whitten trying very hard to stir something up. Hallahan there for the Tigers. Visca's there too. The tackling's ferocious. And once again, the ball seems to be jammed in the right half-forward flank for Glenelg, kicking towards the golf course end into a slight breeze.
Yes, in the 50-metre line, McCulley and Schaefer, they've been at it all day. The umpires, I think, have done a pretty good job. Down it goes. Bad bounce comes to Schaefer, and he just flicks the ball out and I thought the field umpire there was going to say deliberate, but it wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was.
Well, he did, didn't he? Just grabbed hold of it and then just pushed it out. 7 goals, 6.48 to the Bulldogs, to Glenelg 2 goals, 4.16. In the ball comes again, over the top to Heel. He's played pretty well. He's just misses the football there. Big Jimmy West, well, he just punches the ball over the top. That was a throw. Comes in there, pretty hard work there. Comes to Simons, and he just blasts the ball on into the square. Don't tell me it's going to go through for a goal, and it misses just to the left-hand side. So Glenelg move to 2 goals, 5.17, to the Bulldogs 7.6.48.
Yeah, Rick, they've had their chances, Glenelg, but they haven't been able to dominate on the scoreboard.
Well, they haven't looked like it, really, have they?
In fact, that's the first score of the second half. We've been playing 11 minutes, so it just shows you how tight the game is, but a very healthy lead to Central District. Another league trendsetter. They've won 10 and lost 3 on top of the table. Big game too tomorrow. Don't miss that. Port Adelaide and Norwood. Could be 14,000 people there. McCulley taps the ball down to Rubenik. Quick kick forward. Out comes Tyler. Oh, almost took a very good mark. Coming in hard was Abbott. So too Tyler. Hallahan the bear. Goes out wide to a teammate in Soderstrom. Around the body. Standing his ground in the square. West. Can he mark? He can. Better play the Tigers. But he's got to take... In fact, he's played on, but the umpire says come back. Now, James West mucked it up last time. He's going to try the check side. He's 3 metres out, but on a very, very acute angle.
Well, this is a straightforward kick, Wilds, and I don't know why he did on the other side. He's gone for the pass again, and he's kicked it absolutely straight. Well, that's...
Does that
really
go 7 yards?
Well, it went 7 metres and went straight to Chigwitten. He's going to waste no time. He just fires, comes straight in, fires it straight over the top of the goal umpire's head. Well, fair dinkum. Good mark there by Jimmy West, and Rubenik, beautiful work coming down the centre. Let's whip out to down to Noarlunga. Craig don't. Oh, well, he's not down there.
Yes, he is, Drick, and the Eagles have put it beyond doubt. 10-15-75. They lead South 6-8-44.
Thanks, Craig. And Central 7-6 to 3-5. So the margin now 25 points. That's been the smallest margin for quite a while. One stage was 6-4 to a point. Central's leading. So the Tigers have made the play in the last quarter and a bit. Back in the centre now. Probably a crowd of around 1,500 or 1,600. Very small crowd here today. Up goes McCulley. He's had plenty of tap-outs this year. Down towards Hallahan. Soderstrom put the body in and did well. Took the mark at centre half forward. Too far out to score into the breeze. Tyler wants it short. Now Soderstrom, he's going to go back and give it a long bomb. The former North Adelaide player couldn't quite make the grade there.
Well, fair dinkum, he's looked pretty good today. He's taken on that very hard centre half forward spot. I reckon he's beaten Fighting Harada today.
There's his kick. Will land in the square. West from the side. Flew like an eagle. Couldn't take the mark. The Dogs have the numbers. It's Hicks. Goes out towards a teammate in Wakeland. Now to Schwert. Umpire's seen a free kick and it's going to James West, and he's starting to pose a threat up there, Rick.
Yes, he certainly is. He's taken a couple of marks. He's could have messed up a couple of goals, but on this occasion, the umpire's called for the throw, and the umpire's called for the throw, I reckon, about 4 or 5 times in this game.
Yeah, it has been. It hasn't been an inspiring game, but James West now can edge Glenelg just that little bit closer. It's 7-6 to 3-5. Centrals have fallen in a bit of a hole. There's West's kick. Very casual kick. I'll tell you what, the few people here are applauding it straight through the centre. Another goal to the Tigers. They're coming back. Central 7-6, Glenelg 4-5. 14 minutes gone, third term. Let's go back to Noarlunga. Craig don't.
30 points the difference here. Eagles 10-15-75 to South Adelaide 6-9-45. Dennis Brown at Wilcox Avenue.
Yes, North Adelaide by 48 points, 13-4-82. The Double Blues have only kicked 1 goal too since half-time. They're 5-4-34.
Yeah, thanks, DB. And they have fallen in a big hole. Well, Glenelg haven't. They're coming back. And coming back hard. Central's 48 play, Glenelg 29.
Down goes the football, up they come again. It's Big Schaefer against McCulley. They've been at it all day. The ball goes in there over the top, and Sally Sowell, there's Ricky McGowan's in there, has played very, very well today. And as you mentioned, Wilds, well, Stevens has been pretty good on the outer side. Sally Sowell on this side of the ground. The umpire gets up, bounces the football again, in they come. No one gets hold of the football. Oh, fair dinkum. That rucking infringement really upsets me. And if you had a look at the game last night, fair dinkum, the umpires didn't have any idea what was going on. Well, now I think it was Big Schaefer that got hold of the football, and he hasn't thrown it back on the full. So the umpire goes to 25 metres, and Big McCulley's going to, well, he couldn't have a shot from there, but he's going to have a kick into the 50-metre line from right on the square. Out of the outer side, Tyler leads. No, he just doesn't get in front, and I think it's punched away by Wakeland there. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire rips in. They take a long time to whip in, don't they, those umpires? They get far too far away from the footy.
If you're wondering why the name Roger Girdham hasn't been called, it's because he's not playing the skipper. A late withdrawal out of the Central District side. Glenelg have it inside their 50 in front of the scoreboard. which shows 7-6 to 4-5. Up towards Tyler, couldn't take the mark. Wakeland under pressure. Oh, good tackle, Hallahan. Forced the error from Scott Lee, but they've got the numbers of dogs. Picked up by Sable. Evades the tackle of one. A spiralling kick up towards centre wing. Bow couldn't take it. Kretschmer can. He'll kick from just inside 50. Works it up towards West again, pushing and shoving. A raider there that comes out wide to Chigwitten. The skipper caught one high, or did he? The umpire says play it on. Simon Hill comes in hard. Good bit of work from both teams. And we'll see a ball up 15 out from goal.
Well, I think you had to be fair there, Wilds. A very high tackle on young Chigwitten. I know he was only 30 metres out, but I thought there was no question about that. The umpire had to give young Chigwitten, but he's got hold of it. We're not here to umpire, we're here to call it. Down goes the football, up goes McCulley, punches the ball over the top. Been very, very good, Glenelg's effort in this third quarter. They've really tried, and they're sort of coming back a bit. They're leading 7 goals 6 as the ball goes out of bounds to 4 goals 5.
Well, Rick, last week against Sturt, they got away to a 10-goal first quarter. Then from that point on, Sturt actually outscored Central. So for the second week in a row, they're just starting to look a little bit tired.
Well, I think you've only got to get the money, don't you? And Central Districts are a very, very hard side. They're the leaders of the competition. There's no question about that. As the ball comes in, down to Kretschmer, over to the little fella Bear, number 34, goes right into the square. And I think that's Visca, who's coming down from the half-back flank, just takes it on his chest and whips it through. And I tell you what, the boys and the young Simons there, number 2, are sparking it up. The little Bear's running around, Hallahan's running around in that 50-metre line. And a good goal by Visca, and they edge back. But while the ball's coming back, let's go down to Noarlunga and see how the Eagles are going down there.
Well, they're going all right. David Steckel about to line up. At the moment, the Eagles lead 10-16-76 to South Adelaide 6-9-45. 22 minutes into the final quarter. Steckel pulls it on its way. Has he pulled it to the left, or has he got it? No, it's offline. So that's South Adelaide's day. They trail by 30 points.
And let's check that final score in the Collingwood-North Melbourne game. Collingwood 22-12, 144 to North Melbourne's 12-11, 83. Back to Footy Park.
Kick forward by Rubinick up towards West. I tell you what, the Tigers are making a real charge here. McDermott crashing the pack. Visca's crashed the pack just a moment ago. He kicked the last goal, in fact, and all of a sudden, Rick, they've had a sniff, and they really are taking their chances. Glenelg 5-5, Central 7-6.
Yes, well, I did think that early in the first and second quarters, Wolves, that the wind was blowing down to that lake end, but the Tigers have really bounced back in this third quarter and playing particularly well. As the ball goes down, Schaefer just gets the ball down to, I think it was there, Scotty Lee's in after the football, comes to Sally Sable. He's a very, very good player, and he moves the ball out to the outer side. Well, this is the first time that the ball's been into their forward lines. There's young Cotton, number 44. Saw him play in the Perth a couple of weeks ago. He makes a mess of that, and the ball just trickles out right on the outer side of the ground. He made a bit of a mess of that, Wilds.
They certainly did. They haven't been into attack many times at all, the Bulldogs, so a few worrying signs there. A few cracks starting to appear in the armour. They've got it at right half forward, about 70 up from goal. Up goes Balkwill. With him was McCulley, just keeps on getting the taps. Ellis comes in, the youngster, number 49, can't go anywhere. And he's pushed to the ground. We'll see another ball up. 7-6 to 5-5 at one stage, as I said before. 6 goals, 4 to a point. So Glenelg full marks to them. They're coming back hard. Waiting now for the ball up. Up they go. That occasion, Balk will try the tap again. Comes out towards Bow. Bailey with the helmet on. Tries to crash his way through. Can't do so. Good tackle by Ellis. And we'll see a ball up at right half forward for the Bulldogs.
And of course, at this late stage during the afternoon, 4:45, we had the late start. We didn't start the game till 3 minutes or 5 minutes past 3, and the Seagulls are just drifting in, thinking, what the hell's going on here at Football Park? There's no one here.
Bounce down again. Right there again, big fella McCulley. Great tap too. Finds Simons. John Simons up towards centre wing. No one can take the mark. Simon Hill waits down. Is dispossessed of the footy by McGowan. It comes out towards Cook. He's had a very good year, Cook. Of course, played in the state game. The kick's cut off there. And a very good mark, in fact, taken by Alistair Burke, who wastes no time, finds Bailey. Here's a chance now for the Tigers. They work it up towards centre half forward. West out positioned and allows Scotty Lee to come in from the side and take a very good mark.
Yes, a very good mark there over the top. It comes to Stevens. The ball's not running for the Bulldogs at the moment, and Rorick's just going to push this ball out. Well, I tell you what, as the cheer goes up, you can see Glenelg supporters, they've got a bit of a sniff here, Wilds.
Rick, the momentum really is with the Tigers at the moment.
Well, every time that the Bulldogs are going into their forward line, they're just sort of standing up that half-back line across there. Thompson and a couple of the players. McCulley starting to get his hand to the football as the ball comes in. He punches the ball away. He's on top of Big Arnold at the moment. Schaefer's had a bit of a spell. Big Arnold's come onto the ground. McCulley's done a pretty good job, but they've just got a sniff, and it's a bit of confidence, isn't it, Wilds? You only need just a little bit. Chidwitten starting to get hold of the football. Simon's down there as McCulley punches the ball 30 metres. Over the topper comes to Squirt. Ricky McGowan's right under pressure and he kicks on his left foot straight up in the air. Big McCulley is going to take the ball. Well done, big fella, and there's going to be 50 metres. Got himself right over the top and Arnold pulls him to the ground. No, it's the 49 there in Gary Ellis. And I think there's going to be a 50-metre and they've got another chance. And if they can get another goal here, Wilds, they're going to make it pretty hard.
A very good effort by the Tigers. They've got two key forwards, two-pronged attack there. In fact, three if you include Soderstrom. Mark, Tyler and James West also up there. So Glenelg, they give themselves a real chance coming home with a slight breeze. McCulley has been pretty good in the ruck too. Beaten Schaefer. There's his kick. Up towards full forward. Up in front, Soderstrom comes down towards Wakeland. He's dispossessed there by West. Comes out wide looking for Tyler. Scotty Lee pushes him out of the contest. Soderstrom crashed the back. A chance now for Arnold. Arnold goes inboard. Ends up with McGowan. McGowan from centre half back. Looks out towards centre wing. That's where the kick goes. Rubinick waits behind. Meeting the ball well was Bolkwell. Took a chance and got his just desserts. Got the kick up towards Flood. In pursuit there, Rorick. Flood couldn't take it. Bounces off his chest. A chance for Bartlett. Big Alan Bartlett around the body and under pressure. Puts it out of play in the full between centre wing and right half forward for the Bulldogs.
Well, they certainly messed that up, the Tigers, as the ball comes out on the full. Bad work there by Bartlett as the big fella pushes it in. Flood missed an easy mark off of his chest a couple of seconds ago. And blow me down. No, it's touched off the boot, and the boundary umpire there. Well, if it goes over the boundary line and over the fence, Wilds, there's not too many that want to chase it.
No, there's a couple of young kids out there very happy to take the 5AA football, and thankfully it's been brought back into play.
Back into play, the right hand of the Central Districts Football Club down there. In it comes. Everyone seems so tired, and at half-time they were 7 goals 6, and they're still 7 goals 6, and we're 22 and a half minutes into this third quarter. Well, they've been very, very disappointing, the Bulldogs, haven't they, in this quarter?
Well, they have. We thought they could run away and win by 20 goals, but the margin now 13 points. You're right, 22 minutes gone, third term. Pack set themselves in the forward pocket.
Do you think the Breeze has changed ends? No, I don't think. They're looking at the flags. It's still going towards that lake end.
And Glenelg will be coming home in the last quarter with there. Bang goes the ball again. Bolkwell brings it back into play. They need a goal, the Bulldogs. It's just a steady. Cotton goes without it. They got Daniel there, the youngster. Tries to work his way through to Cook. McGowan's there. Another possession of that play. Picked up by Winders, booted 3. Goes towards goal. And thankfully, Central District have a score. It's a point. They really haven't bothered the goal umpires at all. They moved to 7-7. Glenelg 5-5. We'll get a final score at Prospect. Dennis Brown.
Yeah, it's all over here, boys. The North Adelaide side have won by 49 points. 14 goals, 5, 89. The Double Blues did kick a goal in the last quarter. They kicked one in each of the last quarters. 6 goals, 4, 40.
Thanks very much, DB. Disappointing effort there from Sturt after promising so much. But Glenelg take the ball down outer side centre wing through Simons. They've got the numbers there. They work it up towards half forward. Oh, putting up the hand, looked like Visca. Good mark to Simon Hill. Works it back towards the Bear, and Hallahan marks it at the 50. I'll tell you what, Glenelg are on a roll.
Yes, magnificent play by the Tigers, and a good work there by Hill to see Hallahan 45 metres out. Can he kick it? No, he doesn't think he can. He's going to go the short pass straight to the big fella, Jimmy West. And he lumbers like a big grasshopper about, he's about 35 to 40 metres out. Kicking what I would have thought was into a little bit of breeze, but he looks down the ground and he sees McCulley. Well, he's drifted down from the centre of the ground. And big Jimmy West, obviously that breeze is still blowing a little bit there, Wilds, and he fancied himself, big McCulley. He made the lead, and Jimmy West, who's done a pretty good job today, he's only kicked the 1 goal, but he's passed it off to McCulley, and, they're looking good.
I'll tell you what, they get a goal here just about back, Glenelg, because they've kicked the last 4. As we wait now for big McCulley, lines them up. Doesn't kick too many goals, and that's exactly why he doesn't. He's pushed it across to the left. And on the Samsung scoreboard, it's Central 7-7, Glenelg 5-6. Let's go to Noongar final score. Craig, don't.
Eagles by 29 points, David. 11-16-82 to South Adelaide, 7-11-53.
Thanks, Craig. Don't going all the way down to Noongar. He really has to take the kit bag there, and a long while to get back. But the Eagles, too good. They won by about 5 goals, in fact, 29 points. Now, Glenelg can go into attack again. What's happening here? Now, it's a free kick now to a Raider, so fighting a Raider at centre half back. They have slowed to a walk, the Bulldogs. Important game for them because they love to hold on to top position. They're a couple of games clear at the moment. The ball spills free towards Bailey. Almost run down there by Green. Better tackling by Centrals. The umpire allows it to go on. McGowan on the left boot. Up towards Big Conway, who started well but hasn't been seen since quarter time. It slips down towards Cook. Under pressure as handball only found Rorick. And Rorick also, his handball wasn't that good and goes out of bounds right half forward flank now for Central District. And the score 7-7 to 5-6. Glenelg coming back.
Yes, well, a very bad miss by McCulley a couple of minutes ago. That would have really put the Tigers back with a chance. I know that they're coming home with a bit of a breeze as in comes the football. Over the top comes McCulley, pushes down there, and the umpire runs in. Pretty tight. Central District still on that. They seem to be absolutely stumped on that 7 goals. They haven't played particularly well in this quarter at all, but great credit to the Tigers. They've really come back.
Tap down there from Bartlett, goes towards the boundary line. Just having a look, Chris McDermott's tried very hard today, Rick.
Yes, he certainly has, but that's what we know he can do. And, of course, now, as I said, KG will have a real roaring week this week with the Andrew Jarman thing. And let's hope we get to the bottom of the story. Not all these allegations and all that you've been talking about early in the game.
As there now a chance for Centrals, but Glenelg defence is quite holds firm. The handball from Simons finds that man again. Bones McDermott up towards centre wing. Centrals come through a raider. Had an area though. Swert, quick hands to McGowan. He's tackled too. Glenelg throw the ball out there to Big McCulley. Green's there. Now, the umpire's seen it that way too.
Yep.
He did throw the ball out. It's got to be a free kick to Centrals.
Well, Tigers would have been off and running as he kicks the ball over to Stevens. Now, come on, the Bulldogs. They must get hold of a goal, or it comes over to Cotton. He pushes the ball out to Big Flood. Well, I tell you what, Wilds, that's the first bit of play that they've gone into the 50 metres they've had any method at all. 7 goals, 7. Well, they were 7 goals, 6 at half-time as Flood puts the ball down. This is a very, very important kick.
Yeah, 27 minutes gone. You're right. They've only added the one score. It was a solitary behind, 7-7 to 5-6, so they need this. But hasn't been an inspiring performance from Centrals, apart from the opening 10 minutes of the game.
Flood, about 30 metres out. He's on about a 45-degree angle. I would have thought that he just put it up to the right-hand side. In he comes. Pretty important kick as the big fella. He puts it right up in the air, and that is like a bullet out of a gun. What a magnificent kick for goal. Well, they really needed that, and they move along to 8 goals, 7 to Glenelg, 5 goals, 6. Well, that looks a pretty good kick there. Pretty good mark there. Pretty good work all round by the Bulldogs. Final scores were down at Noarlunga. The Eagles got up 11 goals 16 to South Adelaide 7 goals 11, and of course out at Prospect 14 goals 5 to 6-4.
Central's 55, Glenelg 36, and they did need that just to steadier, but they've got a handy lead again. They lead by 19 points, but the Tigers go forward up towards centre half forward. Visca's made a real difference. Kretschmer under pressure. The bald-headed Stevens to Daniels to Arnold. Now to Cotter. Away they go. Cotter up towards Flood, who kicked their last goal. Showed good strength. Couldn't take the mark. Burke got wrapped around the neck, but goes back for a second attempt. Did it well, the youngster. Finds Bartlett playing game number 150. As is Brian Herrera, and it's Bartlett that marks in the back pocket. Been around for quite a while, Alan Bartlett. Was in the inaugural Crows squad. Played about 19 games, I think, for Adelaide Crows. Works it up towards McCulley, who couldn't take it. The ball spills free. McDermott again over the top, looking for James West, who's come down. West there to Rubinick. He can't take it. Chick Whitten under pressure. Central's now going in a little bit harder. Kretschmer, Cotton there. That's Jared Cotton. He had the ball, then he lost it quickly. The umpire right on the spot. That's umpire Slavin. Says, give me the football and I'll bounce it up.
Yes, well, the Bulldogs are going to have to do something. A very good goal a couple of minutes ago by Flood, but Glenelg have got the points in this quarter as the umpire puts it down. McCulley punches it 30 metres. It comes to Simons. Now, what can he do with it? Stevens is after him. He pushes the ball back to the Bear. The Bear gets onto the left foot and just pushes the ball into centre half forward. But a great mark there on the last line of defence by, I think it was Swert, as the siren goes, and Tony Simons, we just see him walking out now at three-quarter time, at the 29-minute mark, three-quarter time. Central District's
food up here.
No, there hasn't been a lot of food, but you had the binoculars. Did you see what Stevie Wright would have been? Well, he would have been whipping them because he would have been very disappointed after their first half performance.
Pretty animated, but so too is Tony Simons. I think Simons shell-shocked after that initial onslaught by Centrals, but since then they've been very good, the Tigers. You look through their side, plenty of talent, and you look through the number of games they've played, and Chris McDermott, of course, leads the way. He's had heaps, approaching 300 games for the Tigers, plenty for the Crows. Chick Whitten's played over 200. Mark Tylor, 168. West, 180. Now, of course, I mentioned Big Bartlett playing his 150th today, so plenty of experience there. They trail by 19 points to give them any chance to win the game.
Yes, I certainly give them a chance to win the game, but they just haven't done enough. They were very poor in the first half as Tony Simons runs off. It's three-quarter time here. Stevie Highwood also walks up, rugged up like a bug in a rug. And I think they'd be a little bit confident. Just quickly before they start, Jimmy Wine has kicked 3 goals, 2 to Mark Conway, not seen in that quarter, and singles to Flood and Cotton, and of course singles to Soderstrom, Chidwitten, Visca going up forward, Tyler and West.
Okay, here we go for the start of the final quarter. Big Schaefer got a commanding thump, but it's taken by Rubinick. Under pressure, gets a kick away towards half forward. A Raiders there. He can't take the mark. Comes out towards Cotter. Now a chance for Chigwitten, who overruns the football. Cotter in there hard. Someone's shipped it out towards Schaefer. He's at left half back. On the left boot, drives up towards Green. Here's a danger play now for Glenelg. Green a long way up from goal. And in fact, ends up taking his time. Works it across towards centre half forward. Bockwell in the van. Spoilt there by War. It comes down towards Cook. Clever handball. Finds a teammate now in Cotter. In fact, it was Cotton. Comes up towards centre half forward. No one can take it. Conway's there. Glenelg a chance through War. Moves ever so smoothly. Back to Simons. Cotton tries to run him down. Simons up towards centering. McCulley's there. And the big man takes a mark. Grandstand side, centre wing.
Great work there by Big McCulley as he looks to centre half forward. He puts the ball up in the air. Everybody flies over the top of the pack. The Mighty Tigers have done particularly well. I think it's Jimmy Wine there. No, it's young Cook that gets hold of the football, and he just handballs the ball out of bounds. Very important quarter, the last one, when the Tigers came right back into this game. And in this last quarter, it's just going to be a dogged fight to the end. In comes the football. They throw it in over the top. Comes the North Adelaide discard, and Soderstrom playing centre half forward. Well, he can leap like a gazelle, the young fellow, and he's played particularly well today at centre half forward.
Yeah, big strong build too. Mark Soderstrom is certainly proving to be a presence at centre half forward. They need the next goal, the Tigers, if they are to win the game. Up went McCulley. Gee, wins tap after tap. It's at left half forward for the Tigers. Hill ran out of bounds, and so did the ball. And there'll be a boundary throw in. 8-7 to 5-6. 2 minutes gone, final term. Simon Hill's had a very good year. Capped it off with by making the state side and, of course, playing in the winning side against Western Australia a couple of weeks ago. Tapped down again by McCulley. Stolen by Schwert. Swings around on the left boot. Around the body, the kick wasn't good. And finds Rubinick at centre wing.
Rubinick got hold of the football. He plays on quickly. He sees a lead down by the big Jimmy West, and he's going to fly, and he goes over the top in between 2 players. Well, he's taken the ball, but the umpires have looked and said, well, you've pushed him right in the middle of the back. And I think it's Wakeland. It's getting pretty dark here, Wilds, but I think it was Cotter back there. That's exactly right. Cotter gets hold of the football, looks further down the ground, sees a lead, kicks it straight back to Rubinick. He takes off quickly, kicks the ball to centre half forward, and here the flyers. Jimmy West, can he come over the top? He pushes the ball out, but it comes to the ever-reliable Scotty Lee.
Lee to the far side, a match race in 2. Visca's there, so too Harada. Visca tries to use a bit of body, does it well, although cut off there by Saywell. Glenelg have it right half forward. They go inboard to Kretschmer. A quick kick forward, Hill in front, couldn't take the mark, perhaps could have won a free kick. They go to ground, and there'll be a stalemate at centre half forward, the true centre half forward position for Glenelg. This is 5AA. You're listening to Rick Davies and David Wildy. It's Central's 8-7-55. Glenelg 5-6-36. 3.5 minutes to go on final term.
Down goes the football. Big McCulley has been punching the ball away all day. He does exactly the same. He's really moving his body, and it goes to ground. Stacks on the mill. We've got McDermott there. We've got Chigwitten there. We've got Schaefer there for the Bulldogs. Now, Schaefer's going to have to do something here because he had a bit of a spell in that third quarter. McCulley has rucked for most of the game. He's going to have to start really putting his body in. The ball goes down. Let's see what they can do. Over the top, Schaefer doesn't get his hands to it. Comes over to Simons. Stacks on the mill again, comes over to, I think it's there in Swir. He pushes the ball on the outer side. Fair dinkum, it's that dark here, you can't see a thing. Over the top it comes. 2 players just running directly at the football. Come on, the Bulldogs, they're going to have to do something here. The score is 8-7 to the Tigers 5-6.
Play on the far side once again. They're going in very hard. David Flood's there. So too McDermott and War. War gets up, a bit of pushing and shoving.
Are they going to switch the lights on here, Wills?
Yeah, well, you're right. It's very dark. I must admit that. But, well, they can. They've got the facility to do so. But whether they do or not, I'm not sure. Umpire there with a bald head, number 9. And that is Derek Woodcock. I think it might be a change in the umpiring, not listed on the budget. Comes down towards Scotty Lee. He's had a good season. Closed down there by Hallahan. and Lee had no option but to go towards the boundary. Other winners today, Rick, North Adelaide after a slow start. They won by 49 points over Sturt, and the Eagles are continuing on their good way. 29-point victors over South Adelaide at Noarlunga.
Well, it's great to see so many people listening to 5AA Sport, because they're all turning around saying, you idiot, the lights are on. Well, it is starting to lighten up a little bit, Wills.
That's a fair comment, I suppose. If you asked to turn them on, they are on, but it's still quite dark as we see Stevens work it up towards a McGowan. He's played pretty well. Now, holding the mark there was Bowe, but it's got to come back to McGowan. Keeps on getting the football, a bit like an Andrew Jarman. Very slow across the ground, but always finds the footy.
Yes, he's got hold of the football. He moves the ball to centre-half forward. Big Conway, he hasn't done much since that first half. Goes over the top, and it comes out to Big McCulley. Fair dinkum, he's played a fantastic game. He pushes the ball over. A bad hand pass there, and Stevens puts his body over the football. Let's see what they can do now. He pushes it out to the outer side, and young Saywell. Now, young Saywell's played pretty well. He looks inside. He sees the big fella there coming straight down the middle of the ground. But good work there by the Tigers. They were all over the top of the football. At the centre-half forward, about 35 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal, there's a bounce.
It'd be a great victory if they can get up and snatch this one, but so far the score's unchanged, same as they were at three-quarter time. Bounce down centre-half forward for the Bulldogs. Oh, good courage there by Cookie, went extremely hard. So too Daniels. The umpire right on the spot. The umpiring's been pretty good too. We'll see a ball up at centre-half forward.
Yes, it certainly was, and that was great work there by young Cook. That's what you need to see when things are tough. That's when you need to see it. Over the top, it's Bartlett that goes for the football. No one can take hold of the football. Chick Whitten kicks the ball off of the ground. Like, fair dinkum, this defence of the Bows has been fantastic, and they just haven't been able to score.
Rowan Moore on the left boot, grandstand side centre wing. Transfers it up towards half forward. Soderstrom couldn't take the mark. Cotton, the will-o'-the-wisp, did it very well to Daniels. Now to Cook. Cook out the corner of his eye, seen Bogwell. Bogwell's made the play, covered metres and takes the mark 60 out from goal in front of the scoreboard. Andrew Bogwell first played footy league football about 4 years ago, then went missing in towards Conway, and the 6'7" giant puts up those long telescopic arms and takes the mark and will kick for goal from 40.
Yes, a magnificent mark from the big fella Conway. He kicked a couple of goals early in the game, but wasn't seen at all in that third quarter. And I would have thought that the coach, Stevie Wright, would have been right on him. Let's get hold of the football in the midfield. Let's get it down there. And Conway, for God's sake, put your body in the front and take a grab, which is exactly what he's done.
He's kicked 2 this afternoon. 2 goals 2. The big fella lines them up. What's he done? The goal umpire hasn't moved. Good kick by Conway. That's the one the Bulldogs needed. Just about out of reach now for Glenelg. 7 minutes gone, final term. Centrals 9-7, 61. Glenelg 5-6, 36 on the Samsung scoreboard.
Well, that's as you called it, Wilds. Very good play there as young Chick Whitten comes off, and number 13, young Justin Scripps, comes onto the ground. Chick Whitten's played particularly well, I thought. He must be just having a bit of a rest as young Scripps comes on. Perhaps they need just something up in that forward line. As a very good goal there by Conway, and no one wants to throw the ball back. And, of course, there's a brand-new football coming out from the side. Central District's 9 goals 7. They just edge away a little bit from the Tigers. They played particularly well in that third quarter, and they just need to get back into this game as the umpire comes in. Schaefer up alongside of McCulley. He's played particularly well, but he must be weary because they've put Arnold in there as well. Up they go. McCulley just gets hold of the football, pushes it down. Stevens gets hold of it. He punches the ball forward, which is pretty good play. Both players, both teams particularly tired at this particular point of time as the ball comes down to number 14, which is Bartlett, and he pushes the ball down there, stacks on the mill. And, well, I think they've run their race, the Tigers, Wilds.
I think they might have. Last 2 times these sides met, Central Districts won easily both times. The last time was 19-8 to 7-9 at Elizabeth earlier in the year. So they've got the wood on the Tigers. Bounce down centre wing grandstand side. Up went Bartlett. It's kicked forward there by Jimmy Wind. Oh, under pressure, Glenelg concede ground. Goes back about 15 metres. That came from War. A chance for Bailey. Cook brings him down, and it goes out of bounds right half forward for Central District. 9-7 to 5-6. Glenelg in 6th position. The Bulldogs on top. Couple of games cleared too. They've had a pretty good year.
Yes, they certainly have. As the ball comes in, it's got big flood up against Bartlett. Centre half forward, full forward down there. Comes over the top of the pack. Bowe races for the football. Good shepherding there by Rorick, and he pushes the ball forward and just sees young Scripps, I think it is, just come onto the ground, right in the centre of the ground. He looks further down. Where can he go? Onto the left foot. He pushes the ball out, and Big Schaefer just puts himself under the drop of the football. Bad bit of play there, but Big Schaefer just pushes the ball up. He sees Jimmy Winder, the centre half forward area. He pushes the ball over to Cook. Cook in turn to Ricky McGowan, who's really shaping up to get a number of possessions. It comes back to Cook. He in turn goes to Ricky McGowan. Just a little bit too tired there, I think, Ricky McGowan. Very, very slow.
Kick now from McCulley. The Tigers a chance. Up one-handed went West because the other one was held by Wakeland. West cleverly to Simon Hill. A hurried kick forward's not bad and finds a teammate in Visca right on the 50. Mark Visca's got a player loose in the pocket. Schaefer turned around, did it well, the big man. Spoilt Soderstrom. They've got the numbers. Wakeland comes out of the fence. Good bit of play here. Good footy between Centrals and Glenelg. There's a kick. Fires it up. Oh, wind in the back. Thank you very much, says McCulley. The free kick's got to be paid. And Stewie McCulley, wearing the number which Peter Carey made famous, will take the kick at centre wing grandstand side.
Yes, well, he has played particularly well, Big McCulley. He's had a couple of big ruckmen to go against. I thought that hampered the side a little bit. He pushes the ball into Jimmy West. He pushes the player out, goes for it on the second grab, stacks on the mill again. Very tired players. And the little field umpire races in to bounce.
Rick, a poor kick by Visca, though. He had the man loose in the pocket and Soderstrom.
Well, he waited far too long, didn't he?
Couldn't kick over a jam jar.
No, he couldn't get it over a jam jar. He should have actually gone back and had a shot or moved the ball on quicker.
Glenelg just have it inside their 50. McCulley again worked his way to front possession. Rubinick couldn't take it. The Central District defence working overtime. And as 2 or 3 players drop on top of the football, we'll see a ball up at the 50. Big game tomorrow too. Port Adelaide and Norwood at the Norwood Oval. Stay with 5AA.
And of course, they've got that game before the big game, haven't they, with KG and the boys Norwood older players versus the Port Adelaide older players.
Jim Mike Lenny and Neil Hine, Greg Turnbull, just to name a few. As Centrals now work it out towards centre wing. The bald-headed Stevens, he can't take it. Coming through and leaving it behind was Burke. He slips out towards Hallahan. He's tried hard, tried very hard, but he's brought down the ground. There'll be a ball up left half forward flank for the Tigers. They're kicking towards the lake end with a slight breeze, but they trail 9-7 to 5-6, and their crowd today, 2,551.
Yes, a very good crowd, I suppose, in the end result, because the Crows were playing today very disappointing in the end. Field umpire here, Schaefer and McCulley. McCulley's been particularly well today. Bad bounce, punched over there by Jimmy Wine, punches the ball on the outer side. Comes to number 25 there for Glenelg, which is Burke. He pushes the ball to centre half forward. Wakeland comes over the top. Comes to Jimmy West. He handballs just anywhere to Soderstrom at centre half forward. And the ball just dribbles out of bounds in the left forward pocket for the Tigers.
25-point lead is our Central District. They've led from start to finish. 12 minutes gone. Final term. Ellis on, Cook off. The change made by Stevie Wright. Quick kick forward by Lee. Doesn't go anywhere except out of play. Not on the full. And once again, the play's been bottled up left half forward flank for the Tigers for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Isn't it amazing, Wills, that the coaches would have been pretty disappointed. Tony Simons would have been pretty happy with the third quarter effort, but the Bulldogs have dug a little bit deeper in this last quarter, and they've sort of bottled the game up pretty well.
Schaefer down towards Schwert, gets it to Raider, playing his 150th, works it up towards a teammate, and Flood couldn't take it. Oh, the umpire said it was pushed. So the free kick goes to Flood, who plays on. Up towards full forward, Conway in front. Second attempt, couldn't take it. It comes spills free. Ellis pushes it in front of him. Off the ground, it bounces towards goal. Should be a goal to Centrals. Take your pick, Boggwell or Green. It doesn't matter, it's a 6-pointer. And Centrals now put this contest beyond doubt as they move to 10-7-67. Glenelg 5-6-36.
Yeah, well, great work there by the Bulldogs, and you can almost see the eyes of the Glenelg players when the ball went over the top. Good work by young Ellis there. He pushed the ball on, kicked the ball off of the ground into the open spaces, and then it was just a race towards the goal. And as you mentioned, I think it was Green on the outside that just pushed it through, and the Bulldogs just edge away ever so well. They've gone to 10 goals, 7-67 to Glenelg. 5 goals, 6-36. So they looked the goods in this last quarter, the Bulldogs. They looked right out of it, and I thought that the Tigers might have come over the top, but it just looks like they've run themselves pretty ragged in that third quarter, David.
Well, they've had their chances. The Tigers, McCulley, another tap. He's one of Glenelg's best, but stolen by Stevens. Let's sail with a screw punt up towards half forward. Bailey came through, did it well. Rubinick roved the crumbs, finds Bow. Lyndon Bow out towards Simons. Daniels there for the Dogs. The ball sits to Lee. Oh, Lee came through like a steam train and knocks it over the line and out of bounds.
Well, he certainly did wake them up, the coach for the Bulldogs, at three-quarter time. They were very, very disappointing. But Scotty Lee, who's been very, very, he's been very resolute there in that last night of defence, just ran absolutely smack bang at the football and then just ran back to pick up young Scripps.
Schaefer goes towards the boundary line where Hallahan's there. Daniels puts him into the ground, pushes his nose into the dirt. Not much dirt there, it's all grass. In fact, Oval once again looks in magnificent condition.
Yes, it certainly does, and they've had a lot of rain in the last probably month or so, but the conditions today, as the ball comes in, Schaefer pushes over the top, McCulley comes down to, I don't know who the hell was over there. Is that dark here at
Simon
Football
Hill.
Park? Keep going, Wilds. I can't see that far.
Now Central's come out from centre half back to Stevens. They got the numbers again, do it quite well. Cotter up towards centre half forward. Conway couldn't take it, waiting down is Bailey. The ball sits for that play. The left-handed handball to Rowan Waugh. Waugh, a clever little kick. Finds a teammate in Burke who can go over the top. There's his kick. Oh, they've got players loose here. Marked by Visca. Can give it to Simons. Elects to go long. Maybe the wrong option. Young Scripps is there. On the left boot, chip short, kick good. And it's been marked by Tyler, 45 out from goal. Mark Tyler's been pretty disappointing today. He's only kicked, the one goal in the second quarter. They need this Glenelg, to say the least, just to make a game of it. 10-7 to 5-6. Tyler played plenty of football with Port Adelaide. In fact, for a decade, kick on its way. Gee, not a bad kick off the boot. He's gone bang towards goal, and it's gone straight through the centre.
Yeah, well, what a magnificent kick by the big fella. I would have thought he was right in our line, just behind, looking up at the back of the stand. But Tyler, good work there by young Scripps, and pretty well called there by Wills, because the ball just came straight down to him, and he saw big Tyler just moving, about 35 to 40 metres out on about a 45-degree angle, and it was a pretty good kick in the end.
Rick, it's a pity McCulley can't do a bit more, take a grab or kick a ball 60 metres, because he wins every tap going.
And he keeps the ball, he punches the ball as he comes in again. Big Schaefer comes over the top. He's probably got on top of him just in the last little bit here as Simons gets hold of the football. He pushes it up. Good work there, I think, by number 14 for Central District, which was Damien Hicks. He comes over the top of the ball. McDermott, you would have thought that a player of his experience would have been right in this in the last quarter, and the ball goes out of bounds on the outer side. Well, Chris hasn't done a lot today. He hasn't been too prominent.
No, he's tried hard. It'd be interesting to see his stats. We don't have the availability of stats, but he always gets the footy, and certainly tried hard today. 25 points, that's what the margin Central's lead by. Schaefer and McCulley will give McCulley another tap. Finds Kretschmer, in turn to Hallahan. Goes towards the forward pocket. Scripps is there, but Scott Lee, steady as a rock, says thank you very much and takes the mark. Scotty Lee perhaps could have had another year with the Crows. His form's been outstanding. In fact, some people have touted him a chance for the McGarry medal.
Yes, well, I think that he has played particularly well, and everyone seems to think that next step up, he was very, very good in the state game as well. And he kicks the ball out to centre half forward. A very, very good mark there by Wilds. Soderstrom. He goes onto his left foot. Well, fair dinkum. He kicked it straight to Swert. Like, how could you possibly do that? He had 3 or 4 other Glenelg players. Anyway, Swert's taken the footy on the 50-metre line down at the Tiger end. He pushes the ball out, looking out on the outer side there for Green. Comes to ground, picked up beautifully there by Sally Sawell. Goes out on the outer side of the wing. The score here is 10 goals, 7-67 to the Glenelg 6-6 as the ball goes out of bounds on the outer side.
I reckon they've had as much of the ball, the Tigers, as the Bulldogs. Just haven't been able to work it quite as effectively. And, of course, they had a barnstorming start when they kicked 6 goals in the first 20 minutes. Up goes McCulley. Brings it to ground. Central's now through Sawell. Dispossessed, tackled, holding the ball. Great tackle too. And it's a Bear again will take the free kick for the Tigers. Still very dark here at Football Park, but we've been told the lights are on. He works it up towards Tyler. Down now towards Schwert. Schwert finds Lee. Lee finds the boundary. We'll see a boundary thrown 65 metres out from goal. It's Central's 10-7. Glenelg 6-6, 18 minutes have elapsed in the final term.
Yes, well, midway through this last quarter, 17 minutes, as Wills has told you, in comes the football on that outer side. Central Districts are just doing enough as the ball comes down. A couple of beautiful hand passes down, and it looks straight in the centre, and there is, Wills, I'm fair dinkum, I can't see that far.
Rubenik,
and he's played pretty well too, whether it be on that half-back line. He's about 30 metres out, and, well, they're about just over 4 goals down, with, I'd say about 10 minutes. So they've still got a bit of a chance.
Must score this goal. He must score it.
In he comes. Very direct. Goal umpire does not move. It almost knocks his cap right off the top of his head. Beautiful kick there by the young fella. As Big McCulley, as you mentioned, Wilds, comes off the ground. And it's going to be interesting to see now, I suppose, that Soderstrom or Big Rubenik is the only player that they've got to sort of rack on.
Don't understand that change because McCulley has won everything that's gone his way. Maybe he's just having a bit of a rest probably for the entire game now because 19 minutes are gone. But the Tigers, they refuse to lie down and die. It's the Bulldogs by, 19 points. Back in the centre, Soderstrom, as Rick said, is doing the ruck work. Tap forward. Oh, player tackled high there. I thought the umpire said no, it's a ball up. Perhaps a good decision in the end. And we'll see another contest between Soderstrom and the Central District ruckman in Schaefer.
I thought it was a little bit strange, as you mentioned, Wilds, with the big fella coming off. He should have had a bit of a break if he was going to have any break in the quarter before.
Unbelievable. It'd be nice to ask Tony Simons a question at a later date as Schaefer just wobbles it forward to centre wing. They're going down there. Green off the ground. Didn't travel all that far. Getting back after there was Simon. So too Reid. They're going in hard. In fact, you can't question the commitment today. It's been good from both sides, but hasn't been a particularly high standard game.
Yes, well, the Bulldogs jumped out in that first quarter, didn't they? Kicking 6-4 to a point, and I think it was 7-8 to 2-4, and we thought that the Bulldogs were absolutely going to run right over the top. But in that third quarter, of course, the Tigers came out and kicked 3 goals to 1 goal, and they looked like they were going to come out in this last quarter, but it hasn't been. The ball comes to the young Bear, who hasn't stopped trying. It goes on to the outer side to Rowe out on the outer side, and it comes in right in. Oh, well, I can't see it. Will, you're going to have to call it for me, mate.
McDermott up towards centre half forward. Schaefer, the big man, takes the mark at centre half back, comes out towards Stevens, grandstand side. You're a bit stiff. This is the first bit of play we've had, Rick, all day in grandstand side. Comes to Wakeland now, who rebounds well from the back pocket. Works it up towards Big Conway, who's booted 3. Off the ground he goes, beats Ellis, and goes out of play. And also beat Big Rorick. It's 10-7 to 7-6. Central's, I think now, time will run out for Glenelg.
Now, Will, you got a pair of those binoculars? I might have to look at getting a pair for.
Well, you did laugh at me, but I tell you what, I can see them crystal clear, those players. I can see them almost changing their minds, some of those footballers out there. They're that clear.
Well, the Bulldogs have played particularly well today. In the first half, as I mentioned, they're kicking 7 goals, 8 to 2 goals, 4. They set it up there. They're in the right forward pocket.
Football on 5AA thanks to Channel 7. We'll go through the AFL winners shortly. Flood gets a tap down looking for a teammate. Oh, Green into the back of an opponent there. Didn't like it either. It was Bartlett. Puts up the hand. Tried to throw a couple. Now, what's happening here? Did he throw one?
I think they both threw one.
And I'll just have a look through the binoculars. Have a look at Green. He's come up a little bit worse for wear. There's Peter Green. Bounce down just outside the 50. Right half forward for the Bulldogs. McGowan tries to find a teammate. Couldn't do so. Still desperate play there. As I said, the commitment has been good. AFL winners today. Carlton, too good for the Crows. They won by 67 points, the Blues.
Where does that leave them now, Wilds?
I think
in the wilderness?
Can't make the 8, yeah, because
Right.
Hawthorn, in fact, will leapfrog the Crows, and they might move into the 8 temporarily. The Sydney Swans won by 17 points, continuing on their way. I think it's 10 in a row, as we see Stevens up towards full forward. Oh, the mark's been taken. Big mark too there. Is that McGowan? I think worked his way back.
I think it's Conway, Wilds.
It is big.
No.
Who is that? It might be Big Conway.
Yes, I think it is Conway. He had 2 Tigers to beat there, but the big fella who has kicked, what's he kicked? 3 goals, is about 10 metres out directly in front.
He's kicked 3 too, so if he can make it 4, he's certainly been productive. 23 minutes gone. Sydney Swans by 17 points. We wait for Conway from point blank range. He's popped it through. Game, set, match for the Bulldogs. Central's 11-7. Glenelg 7-6. That's his 4th. Collingwood, the real surprise packet. 22-12 to 12-11. And who could have picked that, Rick?
Well, I couldn't have picked that. And, of course, the other one, I suppose, Geelong at home, you would have thought that they would have got the points. But Ablett, I think, kicked a number of goals today, 6 or 7 goals. I'm not for sure. But, well, Hawthorn, as you mentioned, we didn't need them to win. He kicked 6 goals as Piercy. Thank you very much for that. As the football, they're finding it. There were only 2,000 people here. Nobody wants to shift here because I think they'd snap because it's too cold.
Very cold conditions. Ablett kicked 6 out of the first 7, but Geelong went down 11-8 to 10-12. And the Hawks are on a real roll. I think won 5 of their last 6, only Essendon being too good for them a couple of weeks ago. So time ticking away here, but Centrals will record, well, a fairly easy victory in the end, you suggest. They lead by just over 4 goals. Bounce down. Soderstrom's gone down. Rubinick went forward. Green up towards centre half forward. The bounce comes down towards young Ellis. Chips in from the 50. Heads towards goal. What's he done? He's kicked the goal. Wait on the goal umpire. They've kicked 2 in a minute, Centrals. They moved to 12-7. Glenelg is 7-6.
Well, I've been very impressed with young Ellis, Gary Ellis, number 49, and on that occasion, he just absolutely swooped between a couple of the Tiger players and just headed for goal. I think he thought that he was just going to pass it off, but he just shot off like a hare and pushed the ball up. But as you mentioned, it's been a pretty tight game most of the day, apart from the first well, the first quarter, and we really did think the Tigers, well, Tony Simons has been saying that, you know, they've been lacking just a quarter of football. Well, they've been annihilated in this last quarter.
Well, McCulley's gone off and Schaefer's just made a meal of it in the centre. As we see Simons work Glenelg back into attack. All interest is just a matter of how much Central's win by. Scripps goes to ground, head one arm held by Scotty Lee. They dive in from all directions. And we'll see a ball up at the 50. Centre half forward for Glenelg, kicking with a slight breeze towards the lake end.
You know, when you're looking at Scott Lee, Wilt, you mentioned he was discarded probably a year too early. He's just been so consistent, hasn't he? He just performs, and if you're a coach, you're picking a player like himself, he doesn't often get beaten down there in that defence.
Great football has been with Centrals now for a decade. The ball comes out towards Stevens, centre half back, looks further field, brings it grandstand centre wing. Little Ellis, have a look at those legs pumping, like tree trunks too. He's about 5'4", and very big legs. The kick wasn't good. Second, third attempt, Visca. Fourth attempt, pay the mark, umpire, and he does.
Yes, well, Visca's looked pretty good in defence, and he moved up into the forward lines for a bit of that third quarter. He looked pretty good up there. I think he kicked a goal, and he gave a little bit of bite there. And I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't probably picked for today as he pushes the ball off to Bartlett. Bartlett looks down the ground. And that's been their disappointing fact because he's kicked it absolutely straight to Waitland, I think it was. And number 23 in young Ricky McGowan. He slows things down. He knows that they've got the money. What are we talking, 25 minutes into this last quarter? He's been fantastic today.
Ricky McGowan, as I said, leading possession getter in the league, had more disposals than anybody else. Works it up towards Bartlett. The boundary line looms. Johnny Simons takes possession. The kick's a shocker. Exactly what Rick Davies said, and goes out of play in the full. McGowan will have another kick. Time ticking away, 26 minutes gone. 79 plays 48, 31-point ball game. The Bulldogs will retain their top position and move to 11 wins from 14 starts.
Wilge, when you're really looking at it, the Bulldogs today, we thought they were a little bit vulnerable in that third quarter, but they've really showed us that they are finals material in this last quarter.
Up towards half forward, Daniels showed a bit of skill there. Off the ground goes Bartlett. Cotter there, plenty of speed. Have a look at him go. Feeds it off to Abbott. Abbott on the left boot, up towards half forward. War there in the way. Went without the football. Spills free. A desperate on the far side. It comes to ground. Should be a ball up. There is. And we'll see that ball up between centre wing and half forward for the Dogs, who lead 12-7 to 7-6. And we've been playing 27 minutes of the final
They've
term.
got a couple of handy players, haven't they? We mentioned in the call at the Carlton game, they've got about 4 or 5 players on the fringe that are very, very good players. And I think the Bulldogs, they've got a few fringe players like young Gary Ellis and a few of those that when they come into the side, they're pretty desperate to do well.
Swirt down towards Burke. Comments there by the Jumbos. We see Kretschmer work it up towards Tyler. Couldn't take the mark. Hicks had hold of one arm. Cotter comes in, who plays very well, goes hard at the football, dives to the ground. The umpire said you made no attempt, and it's a free kick to Glenelg on the far side. The free kick going to McDonald. Haven't called him too often, so not sure if he's been on the ground the entire game. There's McDonald's kick. Up towards West. Meat in the sandwich, couldn't take the mark. It comes to ground. The last chance now for the Glenelg side to get another goal. Off the ground goes McGowan to the far side. And Cotter watches it dribble over the line and out of play. Right half forward flank for the Tigers.
Yes, well, they've just been outpointed here in this last quarter. We did give them a bit of a chance at three-quarter time. They had only a couple of goals down, but in this last quarter, they've just been, touched over by Central Districts, who are a very, very good side. In comes the football on the outer side. Ball goes to centre half forward. I think the money's been won, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Stay with 5AA tomorrow. It starts at 10:30. The League of Legends, Chris Dittmar and Tim Ginniver, I think joined by Chris McDermott. And we go to take 3AW football for a couple of hours. Then the big one.
He'd know the details of the Andrew Jarman thing, wouldn't he?
Well, you'd hope
The old
so.
bone.
I think he would have been delving, and so Chris Dittmar too does a little bit of detective work.
There seems to be, as the boundary umpire throws the football in, fair dinkum, he wasn't even watching the play because there's been a mark at the 50-metre line, and the boundary umpire's thrown the ball in back right outside of the right-hand point post.
Well, it's time ticking away. In fact, it's ticked by. And Central District, in the end, have run out emphatic victors. Good win to Centrals. A game they really needed to win just to stay up the top of the table. They've done that. They've run out victors 12-7-79 to Glenelg 7-6-48. That's the margin of 31 points. We'll take a break and come back with the best players, the scores from other grounds, and all the action here from Football Park.
Villy talks about some of the yummo things that go into his Villy dogs.
The Kransky sausage is really an upmarket, slightly smoked sausage. With our pastry, it blends extremely well.
Sounds good, Villy. Tell us some more.
The sesame seeds on top of the pastry on the cheese Kransky is there to complement. But if you're more adventurous, you look for the cracked pepper on the top.